Hi everyone, it's James here from Pro Tools Expert, and you find me in somewhat different surroundings to the studio. Yes, we're actually in my living room for a product that's, yeah, it's kind of studio based, it's definitely high tech and involves one of these. The music press have done a fairly good job of amplifying, if you see where this is going, this next product. We're going to look at the Amplifi by Line 6. This thing is very, very cool, really easy to use. Definitely what I would call a noodler's guitar tool. So before we even dive in, let's have a listen. Cool, so one of the first things you'll notice is, if you look at my setup that we're running here, where's the stereo? Well, for a start, this is one of the first cool things about the Amplifi. This is not just a guitar amp. This is your whole playback environment. This is your stereo. This is your MP3 playback device. So all I've got here is the iPad connected to the Amplifi, in this case the 150. They do a 75 and a 150 watt version via Bluetooth, and all my playlists are available to me from within the Amplifi app. How cool is that? So if I choose my Gary Moore, my Shine On style backing track, and what I also get is this cool thing called tone matching. So it looks at the name of my track and it also gives me some tones that might work with that track. So let's go for Lead the Way. So, first of all, let's have a look at the actual top of the hardware. So you can see here my test setup. I've got a Sontronic Saturn, which is acting as my high quality condenser for the front of this thing. Obviously it's going to make some impact on the sound, but hopefully you'll get the idea of exactly how this thing looks, the sort of size of it. Really simple controls on top. My guitar input, drive, bass, mid, treble, FX level, reverb, and a kind of really nice blend level between my master in red and my guitar level in white. Which of my main four tones I'm using, tap tempo, and you can see over here my connectivity to Bluetooth. On the back, headphone output, auxiliary input, USB control, so if I use the optional foot switch, and the Line 6 link or the FBV pedal input. Power switch. Yeah, it's a really simple thing. It's a really cool looking thing, depending on your wife, I suppose. So it's fair enough to say that most of the control doesn't come from the top of the unit. It actually comes from the iPad app. So let's go and have a look at that now. So at the moment I'm in the player, which is part of the Line 6 app. So if I go back a level, you can see here, I go into the Amplifi itself, And you can see here my preset banks. I've got nothing very much loaded at the minute. Let's go to the editor. Now this is obviously where we get deep and dirty with the controls of the amp. So I've got my normal controls, bass, drive, mid, treble, my EQ. I've also got a dedicated EQ section so I can get really into the nitty-gritty of things. But most of the tone shaping for this thing is going to come from within the amp and cab section. I just tap on where it says amp. We now see a whole range of amp heads to choose from. If I click on type here, I can go for clean, American, British or high gain. Let's go into the high gain ones. Let's have some Solo 100. No prizes for what that's supposed to be. Hit done. Let's have a listen to that. Let's go back in there again. Let's go to cabinet this time. And let's have a look at my cabinet. What cabinets can I choose from? I do like my vintage 30s. Although that's quite nice as well. Cool, I'm fairly happy with that. Hit done. Into the stomp boxes, what have I got on there? So I've got a tube screamer there at the minute. What have I got to choose from? There's so much. Tube driver, let's have some of that. So what have we actually got? We've got a noise gate, which we can mess with. Wah, of which there are loads of different types. Stomp boxes, which are primarily our kind of drive and distortion pedals. Overdrives. Compressor in there as well. Some fuzz face. Turn it on. We like that. So amp and cabinet we've had a brief look at, but say in the amp module section, high gain, let's change the type down to something American. And you can see there loads of different stuff to choose from. Have some match, let's see what we get there. British, obviously loads of Marshalls in there, high watt. Loving that, done on there. Cabinets, obviously, lots to choose from in there. What I love about these sort of things is you can create amps and head combinations that you'd never do in the real world. You just wouldn't put a 2x12 jazz chorus cabinet with a Marshall or a Mesa Boogie head. You just don't do that. But that's the cool thing about these sort of tone shaping and really cool apps, that you can just mess with it and do go exactly where your imagination will take you. Very, very cool. Also got mic position, mic type, angle, there is everything on this thing. Fully loaded is not close enough. Compressor, EQ settings, master volumes, modulation. What we got else? We got in the modulation section. There's some cool stuff in here, that's for sure. Hit done. Delays. Tap tempo, obviously. Reverb. Change my reverb type. Springs, plates. So, that's the editor section. Obviously, there's a tuner. It's very accurate, we like that. But one of my favourite sections is in here. This is called the tone search. Now at the moment I've just put a Gary Moore search in. You can see what I'm going to get. Kind of a cool sound, but these are all done by people, users in the community. Let's look for someone else. Let's look for another guitar icon. Let's go Pink Floyd. See what we get. Okay, what do we got? Run Like Hell. Let's see if we get that classic delay. Let's see what we get for the Comfortably Numb solo. Not bad, actually, not bad at all. What we got for the Shine On. And these are all put up by members of the community, which is great. There's some really good stuff in there. What have we got here? No, needs a bit more for me. Yeah, nice. So let's go back. Let's have a look for something else. Let's have a look for some. There's loads of stuff in there, I'm sure. Let's go for Stevie Ray. See what we get. Texas Flood. Lovely blues tone. What we got for that? Cool, so you can see there's plenty in there to keep us all entertained, keep us all busy. I think the best thing about this thing though, for me, is the editor, is getting in there, getting in with the amps and start messing with it. If you decide that you didn't want a Plexi 45 for that particular tone, you want to try the Plexi Variac, it's that quick. I think this thing sounds really, really good. Say it's not designed as a gigging amp. It's not roadworthy enough. If anything, I've got two criticisms. One, if you're spending all that time and effort building something that's designed to be, let's face it, a piece of furniture. Line 6, do away with the cable. Give us a basic radio system. It hasn't got to be stage worthy because that thing's never going to be more than 25, 30 feet away from you anyway. Give us a radio, get rid of all this cable clutter. We don't like that at the best of times. Secondly, my wife said something quite interesting when I showed her this. She went, oh, you've picked the right house because it's the same colour as our sofa. Brilliant. She said, but what is it? I think anyone looking at it is going to say, what is it, a storage heater? Now, maybe my wife is used to having instruments around. She's got no choice, quite frankly. But it doesn't look enough like a guitar amp for me or for her, apparently. So maybe make it look a bit more guitar amp-like. But hey, they're selling these things like they're going out of fashion. So they must be doing something right. It's a great product. It really is a guitar. It's a guitar noodler's heaven. Sit back on your sofa, chill out, relax, and enjoy a good old-fashioned thrash, which is what I'm going to do now. So I've been James from Pro Tools Expert. Hope you enjoyed that. See you again soon.